Hi, everybody. It's your host, Shelby of Cham String Shams.
You never know what you're gonna get with Shelby's intros.
It was a little inside joke. So sorry. But everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Very excited to be here. I have my co-host Taylor on the other end of this screen. We're almost at our break. So you only get a couple more weeks of us, and then it's sayonara, motherfuckers.
Yeah, for a few months. It feels like it's been so long since we've recorded together.
I mean, the fact that we don't record very often together in person bothers the shit out of me. I think that that's like podcasting 101, like we're totally making it work, but like we should definitely be doing it more together because
Yeah,
then I feel like even when we do get on here to record virtually, it still feels like we didn't actually record. It's really
yeah,
confusing.
I agree with that.
But in other news, I have a lot of notes of weird things to talk about, but what I really want to know is I was at my hair appointment this week and my hairdresser was talking to me about West Virginia. And she was like, "Did you know that West Virginia and Virginia are separate states?" And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
no, I didn't. And she was like, I also didn't. Her son has like this goal to visit all 50 states before he's 18. So they've been like, they always go and like travel all these places, but he's also wanting to go to college on the East Coast. So they were like headed that direction. And one of her clients was like talking about something, and she was like, yeah, we'll probably like go to West Virginia. And she was like, well, what do you mean, like go? Like, are you gonna stay in West Virginia? You're gonna stay in Virginia? And she's like, aren't they the same thing? They're not. She was like, it's okay if you didn't know because I also didn't know. And I was like, no, I didn't know. Do you know why they're separate states?
I think it has something to do with the Revolutionary War, right?
Probably like the Civil War or something. They're probably the same thing. Um, It was because of slavery. It was like it was just Virginia. And one of them wanted to support slavery and the other one didn't. And so then they basically drew a freaking line, like basically in someone's yard. Is like how close they like it's just like that. And
Mhm.
she went to a gas station on the other side. She thought she was still in Virginia and she said something. She's like, "Oh yeah, I want this from Virginia," or it was West Virginia, either one. I don't know which one. And they freaking treated her as if she had like said something out of control that was like, I don't even know. Like, I can't remember how she worded it, but basically they were like, "This is West Virginia." And then they were so rude to her the rest of the
Oh
time.
my
Like
gosh.
that's how like intense and serious it is. But then this is so bad of me to admit. It got to the point where we started talking about other things about history. Um, and what I have decided is I lump things together that in my mind made sense because I don't retain information that's like unnecessary to me. So her son was like, he called her for some reason and we asked him all these questions that we were Googling because she was like, when did slavery even end or something like that? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I feel like it's probably like the 70s. No, that is not when it ended. Like so many things. So we asked him all these questions that we Googled. This kid who's like 15 just knew all these dates, knew all of these freaking facts. And we were just sitting there like, well, she went to school in like some Colorado town that's super small, like Blanding. And we were like, yeah, education is so powerful. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know when Rosa Parks said no on the bus?
I think it was 1962.
Let's see. It was 1955. That's
Okay,
close.
okay.
So these are the things that made me like this Rosa Parks stuff and Martin Luther King Jr. stuff because it was like more present day for me is what
Hmm.
made my brain think that slavery like had just ended. Like,
Well, slavery and segregation was completely different.
listen, remember my education. So that was also things that we looked up because we didn't really know the difference. Do you know when the Underground Railroad was established?
It was with Harriet Tubman. I'm not very good with dates. I love history, but I'm not good with dates. Um The Underground Railroad, Harriet Tubman was in the 40s, 30s.
Okay, this makes me happier that you said that because those were the things I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
1831, not even the 19s, it was in the 18s.
Oh, really? It was that long ago?
Yes.
I mean, it's really hard when it comes with slavery and segregation because they were so much of the same, but they're so different. But they
Yeah.
have so many similarities. Like they might as well have been using like people as slaves during
Yeah.
segregation because that's basically what they were treated like.
Yeah. Well, and I think that that's why and probably comes back to like my education and things like that of like how we learned it and like
Mm-hmm.
I know they glazed over it. Like they
Oh,
teach us a lot
yeah.
about Native Americans, but they don't teach us a lot about this kind of stuff. And so when we were like talking about it, I was like, this is why my brain lumps certain things together because I don't think I really ever learned the facts. And then I hear about like other things that were more current that I just assume they're all the same. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's good to know. And then I like bebop away and like don't even think about
Mm-hmm.
those things again. But
Mm-hmm.
we were truly shocked and appalled. And she was like, please ask Taylor these on the podcast to see if we're just idiots. And I was like, I guarantee we're just idiots, but I'll ask her because I was shocked. I was so surprised.
No, honestly, and this may get its hate. It's fine. I don't care. People already hate us. The education system in America is really fucked and it's very, very whitewashed. So even me, which I feel like I had a really good education, I feel like it was not nearly as in depth as it should have been because these are important things. Like, this is stuff that
Yeah.
could so easily happen again, but it's very whitewashed. Like, how many years of our whole life did we celebrate Christopher Columbus? And this dude's a fucking dick. Like,
Dude, we talked about we brought our conversation went full circle to Christopher Columbus, and then we're like, and then it turns out he didn't even fucking sail across the ocean.
yeah,
Like
he's
so
an
many
asshole.
things.
Yeah, he's a terrible, terrible person. And it's just like, wow, we really like it's just very, very whitewashed. It really
I,
is.
I honestly believe that that's like a big factor as to why we have the hate that we have right now, like present day, is because
Hmm.
people didn't get the education and didn't get the conversations weren't important enough. It was like, oh, this happened, but it's over now.
Hmm.
And it never really got into like the depths of what it really was. Guarantee if this was happening to white people, it would
Oh,
have
for
been like,
sure. For sure.
yes. So it's really sad to me, but also like we were so freaking surprised and we were just like laughing and we were like, God, if anyone could hear us right now, they'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with these ladies? So I just wanted to point out another thing about how terrible my education system was.
But you know a lot of stuff about Native Americans that I guarantee many people do not know. Like you probably could school me on Native American stuff.
I mean, probably, but I probably didn't retain it as well either. I do know a song that I will sing random times, Go My Son, Go and Climb the Ladder. But in other news, let's get back to regular shit. Is there any new P. Diddy stuff? Because I've been irritated.
No, I haven't really seen anything, honestly. I've been looking, but also not like very hard. I've been looking about as hard as I've looked to try and find Drake's dick. Like, that hard. I've just been busy,
Listen,
man. I've been busy.
if any of our listeners have seen that and they have a
Please send
picture
it
or
to
can
me.
send us a link, please send a DM to Champ Straight Champs Podcast on Instagram. We really would like to see it.
I think it's a video. I don't even think it's a picture. I think it's like a video of him like swinging it around.
Oh my God, I really want to see this.
I know, but I just don't know how to find it. I cannot find things on the internet anymore. It's gone really hard.
Well, the thing that gets me is that it's just like we talked about when the P. Diddy stuff happened. Shit like this gets covered up so quickly, and then you hear nothing about it for months and months
Hmm.
and months, or even years. And it's like, did it even happen? And it really bugs me.
Still over here waiting for Epstein's list, government. Come on. But you
Um,
know what I did see today, just briefly, so I haven't looked into it a whole ton. Britney Spears, our
I
girl,
saw that.
yeah, she got like called, like the cops got called for like a mental health thing in wherever she's at. She's like on vacation and she was like freaking out to the hotel workers.
And also apparently has another boyfriend.
Yeah.
I Googled it right now. Britney Spears works mental health crisis. She's at a hotel in LA. in this picture, oh my God, she's like basically naked.
Lois, you need to be on the case. It's in LA. What are you doing sitting at home?
She's basically naked. She has a pillow and a blanket over her boobs,
Oh my
and she's walking
gosh.
out barefoot. Her
This poor
shorts are like
girl.
all the way down. Like did you see her videos recently where they're super sexual too?
Yes,
Like
with the
almost,
horse.
she's almost like taking all her clothes off and like showing her tits and vagine.
Yeah, yeah. It's too
She
much,
looks,
man.
dude, she looks so bloated and pregnant in this picture. Like, I don't want to be rude, but
I
girlfriend's
know.
unhealthy.
I feel so bad. Like, I feel for her. She needs some serious help. I don't even know what help could help her right now, to be honest. I really don't.
Oh my God. These pictures are wild. But yeah, her Instagram has been full. Like, I literally the other day was watching one. I was like, she's about to take her clothes off. I got so stressed, I had to like swipe away.
Ugh,
I think I'm
yeah,
frozen again, or you're frozen.
I'm still here. Oh no.
What's happening?
That was so scary. If you were
I'm
watching on
gonna creep
YouTube and just
in my
saw that,
headphones.
why
I'm
does
so
this
scared right now. What is it?
why does this always happen? I'm getting my Palo
Not
Santo. I'm getting it. Oh my gosh, if you're watching us on YouTube,
why
you're
did
in
these
such a treat. What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's happening?
I am so freaked out right now.
You were hearing voices?
Dude, your stuff was like all choppy and like didn't it was like sounded like aliens were coming through my headset
Oh no, it's happening again.
and like the screen went like all brown and like fuzzy. Like I don't even know how to explain what was happening on my screen. I need to light some sage too. That was really scary. I almost cried.
We were both just so scared. If you don't watch us on YouTube, go watch it just for that. That was
Dude,
weird. Why did that happen?
I don't know. I wish you could have seen my screen. I'm so sweaty right now.
Like I was all brown and alieny
My screen went like this dark brown color and then started to get like purple and like spread out. And it was like
on me.
you're on me. And then I don't think I paid attention to what you're doing. I was so stressed about my screen on my side. And then your sound was like, and then you'd be like laughing and stuff. Like, and it was like all choppy and separated. And then like I'd hear like, ah. It was
Oh
really,
my God.
it was really scary.
That's horrifying. That was horrifying, actually.
I don't know what happened on your end. It probably all looked fine. I don't even
No,
know.
you were like frozen, and then you went like brown for a second, and then like you were back.
I wonder when we get the recording what it's gonna look like.
That was scary.
Do you think it's because we talked about like Harriet Tubman and Navajos and stuff? Like,
Stop. Don't even say it. Don't even say that right now with whatever's around us. Yikes. I don't think it
anyways,
would be Harriet Tubman, but
she seemed like she was peaceful.
yeah, it's like a Mother Teresa.
Dude, that was fucked.
That was. Anyways, what were we saying?
It's because we talked about Britney Spears.
We weren't talking bad. Sorry, Brittany. Gosh, RIP. Not RIP. You're not dead. Well, actually,
Could
debatable.
be. Okay, on another note, um, another topic I wanted to talk about is how much I fucking hate green messages.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just had a situation last night where I went to text a friend and her son is graduating. And I was like, hey, are you having a graduation party? Because like I want to be invited. Um, and it was green. And then I was literally like, I literally said to her, I was like, also, should I be concerned about your green messages? Like, I said, also, did you get rid of your iPhone? Why are your messages green? Turns out she went to Disneyland and her phone got broken and then she couldn't get into her Apple ID. And so Apple makes you wait like 10 days or something before it'll like resend you like a link or something to change your
Uh-huh.
password. And I was literally like, thank God, because like I was literally about to do an Irish exit to her. Like she like sent me like all of the stuff that was happening. I was literally about to like never text you again. That's
What's an
how much
Irish
hate.
exit?
Where you just like it's basically like ghosting someone. An Irish exit
Uh-oh.
is where you like if you're at a party. Have you seen those memes where people are like people like Irish exits save like 3 days a year or something like that? I
Oh,
don't even
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I have.
It's basically like at a party, you don't say goodbye, you just leave. Like when you're ready to go, you just leave. Like that's actually more normal, like in Europe. Like when you're done, you just get to leave. You don't have to be like, all right, I'm leaving, and then say your whole thing, and then you get stuck there. Like when you're ready to go, you're just like, you don't even have to wave goodbye, you just can leave.
My God, that would cause me severe anxiety.
I kind of want to start doing it. Sounds fun.
Oh my God, I'd be so stressed.
You're like, where did Shelby go? You guys would be on the hunt for me.
For sure. I'd be like, have you seen this girl? She got kidnapped.
And my ass would be like ignoring your calls and text messages, just like laughing in my car, like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have determined that green messages really truly make me dislike any ounce of communication with somebody. I don't
Why
know what it
though?
is. Like, I don't know why. It's because I don't have all the features and it's an annoying color. It's not cute. It's hideous. You don't get like the fast service that you would normally get with a regular iPhone message. And you also can't react to messages. Like you go to react and say like, haha, heart it, whatever. And it sends a whole nother message. Like, so when you're in a group chat and someone does that, it's like, Shelby hearted, and then repeats the whole message. Like, that is the most idiotic nonsense. It's not user friendly.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can agree with that, but that's really funny.
It's definitely a huge ick of mine. And it definitely makes it so I don't talk to people. Like if it's a green message, I like refuse. So that was just a fun fact I wanted to share. I don't know. I don't know if other people feel this way or like that aggressive, but like I really truly can't.
I literally don't even know how to respond to that.
Sometimes I wonder if this is like an Enneagram 1 thing too. Like I don't know if other people get this irritated about certain things. Like I get really irritated about things that like don't make sense.
You know what? I don't think it is just you. I think it's just the specific thing. But right now I'm having an irritation as well that I want to bitch about for a second. Okay, I granted I am old to be going to college. I get that. But having to make stupid shit that doesn't matter right now, I have to make a brochure. Okay? I don't care. And you want to know what I have to make it in? Microsoft Word. And
Not even Canva?
I even went as far to send my teacher a message and say, "Hey, I have a subscription to Canva. Can I just make it in there?" And she responded and said, "No, sorry, it has to be in Microsoft Word." Are you fucking kidding me? I can't. It irritates the shit out of me. I've been working on this for 4 days because I can only do it in little bite chunks because I think it is so stupid. Okay, we're not in elementary school. Just let me write a paper or do something else. I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it.
What is your brochure about?
So you have to choose like something that would help children's in the development stage that I'm learning about, which is 5 to 7, that will help their development stage either Vygotsky's way or yeah, I don't know how to say his name. Honestly, it'll be like a dandelion. Piaget?
I
I
was
don't
just gonna
know.
say I was just gonna say Pionki because there was a girl in my grade, not my grade, but like in our town, and they were the Pionkis. And when you said the P something, it reminded me of their really weird last name. So I was gonna be like, maybe it's Pionki.
So those two development styles, because there's two completely different. So I obviously chose yoga because I'm like, that's going to be fucking easy. I could do this shit in my sleep. And then it had to be a brochure. And I'm like, this is so stupid. So you have to like, so I'm doing like a kids yoga class, but on the brochure it has to have like all of this like technical psychological stuff. And I'm like, this doesn't even make sense because nobody would even make a brochure like this anyway. Like it's dumb.
When Jaden was in school, we had to help him make a brochure for one of his projects, and he had to like draw a picture and then write stuff about it. And this is reminding me of that, where you have to have like an image, and then you had to have some facts with the image, and then each page
Yes.
had to like have their thing. That's whack,
It's
dude. That's so weird.
it's the dumbest thing. And let me tell you, 33, almost 34, I feel like I am back in sixth grade and it's really annoying.
Yeah, that's one of the things that gets me about college in general, why I think it's kind of a scam is the busy work and the projects they give you. Um, they're not legit. Like it's not helping people like actually apply stuff. Like again, we're a society that literally has Google at our fingertips. If
Mhm.
we don't know how to do something, we're going to just Google it. Like,
But even that, like if I was a marketing major, sure, I would probably have to make brochures and posters and all the things. I'm
yeah,
not. I don't need to do this. And if I was to do it and if I had to do it at a place I worked, I guarantee they're not going to have me using Microsoft Word. They're going to have me using Canva, which I could do.
100%. That really makes me laugh though.
So annoying. I just have it. I need to minimize it. I have it pulled up on my other screen so I can just keep looking at it and it's irritating me.
Triggering you the whole time.
Yes.
Um, I'm happy to report for everyone that I took my parasite medicine
Oh
and
yeah.
nothing really happened. I did suddenly like afterwards have this serious like stress of like when I did need to go number two because I was like, holy shit, like I didn't even research like whether a worm would come out of my butthole.
Have you
Like
seen any?
no, I don't think so. Um, I was really, really stressed though that like I would go poop and then a worm would dangle out my booty hole. I was really scared. That didn't happen. I didn't get the shits. I didn't get any like tummy ache things. I didn't want to throw up. Wally got really nauseous for like a couple hours, which makes me feel like he has parasites for sure.
Did he shit
He,
him out?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
You need
He
to
didn't,
ask.
he didn't tell me, but what I researched a little bit was that this medicine basically just kills them. It doesn't like make them activate and run away. When when it comes like that where they're like dangling out your booty, it's like a different kind of parasite. It's like a tapeworm type stuff where they're like fleeing the scene. So that
Oh my God,
it
my
was
eyes are seriously watering.
it was a bit strange. I think it's almost kind of like a placebo effect, like knowing you took that. I did feel like a bit lightheaded for a couple hours, but like I kind of just like kept busy and did my thing. And I think Wally was a man about it and like would be doing something outside and be like, "Ah, I'm feeling really nauseous. I need to go take a nap." And I was just like, bitch, I just cleaned the whole house. And like I felt a little bit weird too, but like it's fine. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. I think in a couple months she'll do another scan. So we'll see if it changes my parasite head count. But
Oh,
yeah, it was weird. My friend also sent me this podcast of um Just Ingredients has a podcast. I don't know if you listen to
yeah,
that,
I do
but
actually.
they did a parasite one and she sent it to me. And the opening part was this guy talking about this fucking worm coming out of his asshole. And I almost threw up and I was like, you need to give me the sub notes. I cannot listen to this. And it just like goes into depth about like the parasites in our bodies and like how they get there and all these things. And I don't know if anyone's really interested in learning more about it. There's a podcast on Just Ingredients podcast. But
A
it does
worm was dangling
from
out
his
his beehole.
booty hole, yeah.
Did
Ugh.
he have to pull it out?
I don't know. I turned it off immediately.
I did not see this episode. I'm gonna need to go listen.
It just came out and she texted me and she's like, holy shit, parasites are, she was freaking out. She's like, I need to do a parasite cleanse.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. Gross, gross, gross.
I don't know.
Gross.
It's wackadoodle, man. But yeah. Other than that, the only other thing I feel like I wanted to say was, I don't remember. So that's my updates. I feel like I just recorded this week too. That's why I feel really
Oh
unhealthy.
yeah. My only update is that I got trained in Reiki and I'm super excited about it. I've been having the weirdest things happening and energy's really freaking weird. It really is.
I just remembered something I forgot to tell you guys. I learned so much about Taylor this last weekend when she stayed at my house. I also learned that Taylor went to hair school, and I just feel like everyone should know that because I think it's so fucking weird that I didn't know that.
I think it's weird too because I swear that I went.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it so I've never hated anything so much.
Was it Taylor Andrews?
Yeah, I went to Taylor Andrews and Cameo.
Oh, you went to two. So you
Because
like tr tried it, didn't like it, tried another one, didn't like it?
yeah, because I was like, maybe it's a school. Here's the thing about the beauty industry. I'm guessing hair is worse than aesthetics. It is catty drama bitches. Like that is exactly what it is. And so I was like, well, maybe it's just a school, like maybe it's the girls here. So I went to a different school and I hated it just as much. And I was like, this is not for me.
I think that that's one of the disservices that the beauty industry has truly is like most people assume that all hairstylists are total assholes and like I kind of agree with it. But like I also really like mine. I think that's like not how it is, but you just have this it like you are worried to go to somebody because you're worried they're gonna be like a dramatic bitch.
But you know what it is? Your hairstylist works alone, so does mine. She doesn't work in a salon.
Mm,
She rents her own place and it's just her. And I think
true.
that there's a big difference because I stopped going to my old one because she started working in a salon and it was just like catty drama all the time. And I was just like, I don't want to hear about this one getting my hair done. So I think it's really like because they work alone that it's better.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know that you were that way. I also learned over the weekend that Taylor and I are so polar opposite. It's insane. As like human, like internal human beings. Like I always knew we were different, but like damn, we're wildly different. She's very body feels and emotions and all these things, and I don't have those feelings. Nor do I want them. I don't think it's like my thing, you know?
Yeah, I wish it wasn't my thing. It's a very dramatic life that I live.
I mean, there's like some people I follow on Instagram, like influencers and stuff, and they're very much that way too, where they're like, they're more like, I don't know, body internal feeling. I don't know. I don't even know what the word would be to explain like that. I always just
Yeah,
called myself cold-hearted and like put that as like who I am in general because it's like I have no feelings, but I do have feelings, you know, but that was like what I
yeah,
would just use to like reference it as like a quick term. I don't know what I would say about like your emotions and connection with your body and your energy, you know?
yeah. I don't know.
There's got to
I
be a
think
word
it's
for
just
it.
personality differences, honestly.
No, I feel like there's got to be a word for people that feel like energy and emotions and like all the body things. There's got to be a word for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll do some research.
One day we'll know. We'll put it on t-shirts.
Yes. But anyways, yeah, I got trained in Reiki. It's been super fun, super interesting. I've been having some really fucking weird dreams and
Ew, like of
yeah.
people's dreams.
No.
Thank
So,
God.
okay. So I got trained Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night, I had a dream. You know, on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, did you watch that growing up?
A little bit, not a lot.
You
Not a
know,
lot,
the
baby girl, just a
witches,
little bit.
you know, the witches council, the witches council, how they like stand behind those stands.
No, I probably got scared and didn't watch that part.
Anyways, if you watch Sabrina, the Witches Council, they stand behind like those stands. Anyways, I had a dream that I was like in the Witches Council place, like that's what it looked like. And I
Oh, I know
met,
what you're talking about now.
yeah, and I met
Okay.
angels, and the angels said to me, I mean, granted, okay, I always have kind of weird dreams, but this was like extra weird, these last dreams that I'm going to share. Anyways, the angels were like, do you accept this gift to help heal yourself and to heal others? And I had to like say, yes, I accept. And that was my dream. So that was a weird dream to have. And then on Tuesday night, I had a dream that I was 20 years old again, and I was in a room and it's just screaming and crying, and like there was like black all around me, and I was just like releasing all of this stuff, and I thought I was like really screaming. Like that's how real my dream was. So yeah, I was just like screaming, and there was somebody with me. I don't know who it was, and they were telling me, like, it's okay. You need to let it out. You have to release this. And it was like so crazy. And then I woke up in like a panic, like a nightmare panic, like all sweaty and like, that wake up that you get. And Tony was like passed out asleep. And I was like, was I not really screaming? Because I really like felt like I was screaming, and like, I don't know, it was so weird. So that was that dream. Like, it's just like weird stuff has been happening. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
Did something happen when you were 20 that like you needed to release?
I mean,
I
I
didn't
don't,
even know you. Yeah.
I can't think of anything specific that happened at that age, but that's how old I was. And like, I don't even know how I knew I was that old. Like, I just knew I was 20 years old.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think that's how things like that happen. Um, I shared today Caitlin Bristow's podcast episode, and she has like a thing ever since she went to Hoffman's, where she did like that whole like spiritual journey and like therapy and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. Ever since then, she's like telling you on the podcast, she's like, stay with me. Like, I know I sound fucking crazy, but like
Mm-hmm.
ever since then, like she can tap into this like higher power where she has like these three angels that are always like there. She calls them her spirit guides, and one of them's like her higher self, and one's her spirit guide, and one's I don't know if she ever explained what the other one is, but like instantly now in meditations and stuff, she can just like drop into it and like connect with it immediately. And she was like, I think you have to have an experience that's like takes you to that level, and then
Mm-hmm.
after that, like it's just constantly around you. Like she's like, I can drop into it easily. So
Yeah,
maybe that's like,
I need to listen to that episode. But like the teachers told us, like when you accept this gift, because like you have to accept it, you get like they call it an attunement, and it's basically like a really deep meditation. And once you like let that in your life, like stuff will begin to change. Like the energy inside of you, the energy around you, like that will begin to change, and your body does have to kind of like normalize. It takes about 21 days for it to like normalize. So this is all normal. Like I even reached out to the teacher and was like, is this normal? Like what I'm having? Because after yoga on Monday, I had like severe anxiety, like the worst anxiety I've had in a really long time. And I just felt very ungrounded. Like I felt very like floaty, disassociated on my body. And I had to go to Tony. He was like laying on our couch. And I was like, I just need you to like hold me because I'm feeling like just really stressed. Like I don't even know what I'm feeling. And yeah, she responded and she's like, it's all a part of the process. Like you just have to work through it, keep like your safe things, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, like it's just been really, really strange. Really strange.
it's also just really strange to me that there's people out there that like can just go and do these things and like just have these connections, like it's not, you don't have to be qualified to do these things. It's like you just have to have something, and it's kind of freaky.
Yeah. And also, what's really weird about this is I thought about it today because my stepdad, his mom she just got put on hospice. She's not in a very good place. And usually, death causes me so much anxiety, and I would be losing sleep about her like any day going to die. And I have so much peace about it. And like I was on the phone with my mom earlier today, and I was like, and I just like talking, and my mom was kind of like, who are you? Like, where is this coming from? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. Like, this is so weird for me to just be so peaceful. And like I was like, yeah, like his brother's gonna be there and his dad will be there to greet her, like it's gonna be a really beautiful thing, and blah blah blah. And I was just like, where's this coming from? Like I'm so confused because usually this makes me so uncomfortable. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it's been really a strange few days.
I mean, they all sound like good strange though, so
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
You said something that was popped into my brain and now I can't remember. But one thing I was gonna mention, we always talk about it when we both record solo. We're like, I don't know how people drink their drink while they're recording solo. Like it's impossible. So sorry, you guys have to listen to this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it really hit me the other day. Like we're so fucking stupid sometimes when we say stuff because they edit it out. Like, duh, they go in
Oh
and
my
they
God.
they go in and they just clip out those pieces. And like I thought about it, I was like, we could totally do that. But also we're like, I know how to edit our podcast now, but it takes so much time. And I was like even us having our whole like breakdown of like things not working and us saging, like I'm not taking the time to go edit it. That you guys have to listen to it. Until we get paid sponsors, I do not care that you have to listen to me drink my drink or that a ghost was impacting our
That's
audio.
so funny because that thought has never crossed my mind. Literally, duh, duh.
It hadn't really crossed mine either until like the other day, like
Oh
something
my
happened
God,
and I was
that's so
like, it was just like a random thing, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, they edited it out. Like it
that
was
is
such a
so
weird,
funny.
it was an epiphany where I wasn't even recording it, I wasn't even like thinking about the podcast. Like something just made my brain be like, oh duh. Like that's how
That's
they
funny.
drink. Yeah. So
Wow, we're really dumb.
inside scoop, guys.
At least we're relatable, right?
Exactly. Do you have any other things that you want to share?
Um, no, I don't think so.
All right. Well, everybody, now that you've listened to our shit show, um, I just remembered that we have not addressed publicly someone's really rude comment, and I feel like we should address it really quickly.
Okay.
I can't remember what it says, but I want you guys to know that someone left a very rude written review. And as I was about to pull out my vision board, it just kind of popped into my mind and made me LOL again. So I just want whoever leaves nasty reviews to know they don't actually hurt my feelings. They make me laugh really hard. I think
It's
they
a
make Taylor.
deep patent.
Oh
Practice what
yes,
you preach. Barf emoji.
exactly. And I think they also said that we're hypocrites.
Yeah, hypocrites.
Yes, so we are hypocrites and we don't practice what we preach, barf emoji. But I want you to know, sir, I think that's probably why it came into my mind. I'm assuming it's a sir. This is my vision board and it has all the things that I practice and I preach. And yes, I don't do them all, but we are talking today about our goals and like a little check-in with you guys of like the goals that we set for 2024. And I think that's why it came to my mind when I was like, these motherfuckers sit here saying this and they don't even realize like this is exactly who we are. But
Yeah. So this is your reminder to check in with your goals as well, because next month we'll be on our break, but next month is halfway through the year. So,
yeah. And so I did my goals. I don't think we ever fully like talked about all of the goals. Normally we have like a whole episode and all these things and we're extra prepared and we already have them ready like at the beginning of the year. This year was very different for both of
mhm,
us, I feel like. Maybe we're
mhm.
getting more comfortable like going with the flow and not feeling like we have to be so rigid. But I basically wrote my things and I don't know what I would call them. I'm gonna call them my intentions for the year because I don't necessarily feel like they're goals. I feel like I have a
Mhm.
very different mindset on what goals mean now. And so I'm just trying to be like intentional about these things that I wrote down. So I wrote all of mine down with like my vision board and all the things, like the vibes I wanted to have for the year, and kind of like put them in different categories a little bit, but not a lot. This was like the most unhinged I think I've ever been about setting goals like this. I'm in a very go with the flow like state this year is what I've
Mhm.
decided. I wrote down 25 different goals. Like that's a
Oh,
lot.
really? Yeah.
Yeah. I was
That
like,
is
what
a
the
lot.
I was like looking at this before we started recording. I'm like, okay, have I accomplished any of these? And I'm like reading them. I'm like, damn, bitch, like, can you calm down?
I also this I've never done goals like this for the year. I didn't write a single one down. I literally just made a vision board and I've completed or in the process of completing a lot of things on my vision board. And it's been really wonderful. So I have my vision board taped right by my desk and I can see it. So my vanity's over here. I have it taped over here. So while I'm getting ready, anytime I like turn my head, I see my vision board. So I see it every single day. And yeah, I'm in the process of a lot of things.
What I have noticed, and this was kind of the problem I felt like I would have when I very first started doing like an actual vision board, because what we did is, we've probably already mentioned it, but we did like a New Year's Eve party where we made vision boards. And so this was the first time I've like really made a physical, like printed out one since I don't even know, like since I was young. Probably I made one in Mutual or something, like as a young women's activity.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the first one that I have that's like a piece of paper. And the thing that stressed me out about it, which still kind of stresses me out about it, which also highlights the importance of like having it visible, is I have like a vibe in my office and I don't really have the ability to have it just like taped up next to me because I'm always on like calls and stuff for work. And so it's always off to the side. And every now and then I'll like be cleaning or I'll like walk by and it'll catch my eye. But I don't look at this very much. Like I'm not looking at it and I'm not reminded of the things that I had written down. And like as we went to go do this, I was like, I've really got to find somewhere to put this where I can see it. I think I'm gonna put it somewhere where I can see it that's not behind me. But then
Uh-huh.
it's just gonna look a little bit off in my office, but I have to get it put up because there's like I said, 25 things on here. And as I was reading them, I was like, God, I have real fucking aggressive like intentions for the year. Like shit that I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so I don't feel like I've accomplished hardly any of them. Like for example, all of my work ones are totally busted. Like the work is a joke right now. One that I do know that I have done really well at is I've started to work on strength training because I have a
Mhm.
really hard time dedicating time for strength training, and I've been doing really good at like
You
being
have
regular
been.
at it. I
Mm-hmm.
still need to improve, but like that's one where I'm like, oh yeah, I am doing that one. And I have thought about that sometimes when I'm like not wanting to strength train. I'm like, this was your intention. Like you need to strength train. So that one I for sure have done. Um, I have on here eat out less and cook more, and I think I've definitely done that. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
two. And then also I had one on here that says read your cards weekly, and I have not done that. Like, I think I've read my cards once this year.
Does it count if other people do that for you?
I feel like no. I feel like I like there was a point where I like had so much spirituality and it's just freaking gone. And
Yeah.
one of my other ones was reclaim your spiritual side. I feel like I'm trying to work on that. So just
Mm-hmm.
because I've accomplished it doesn't mean I'm not. But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot that I put on here that I've just kind of let fall to the wayside. And I really I need to get more in tune with like what I wrote down and what I wanted to accomplish. Even if I don't complete them, I need to
Mm-hmm.
at least be trying to attain them, and
Yeah.
I haven't been.
Yeah. I highly recommend to put it in a space that you see it every day because I didn't even know that I was like accomplishing things or working on accomplishing things until like I put it in a space that I was looking at every day. And then it's like a thought in my head every day.
Yeah,
So,
I think I've heard that too when people talk about like writing their goals down and stuff, like that your subconscious, like even though you're not reading it and you're aware of it, like, oh, I just read this, your subconscious is
mm-hmm,
like scanning things all day long,
mm-hmm,
and you'll naturally do things because your subconscious told you to do it, not because you like were telling yourself to do it. So I think that's like one thing I've definitely heard about, like why people write down stuff like that and put it where they can see it.
yeah, because I want to share a cool story. So if you're on YouTube, here's my vision board. But I put mountains on here just because I really liked like the sticker. And my thought when I was putting it on was like, that means exercise to me. Like that's when I look at that, that's what like strengthened my exercise routine. And now I'm climbing two mountains this year, 10K up two different mountains. So I thought that was really cool. And then what was my other one I wanted to share? Shit, what was it? Oh, the butterfly. So dragonflies are kind of my thing that like how my like spirit guides, my dad and everything communicates with me. But lately, anytime that I'm doing something, and this has taken like a lot of focus for me to notice, anytime I'm doing something that has to do with one of my goals on here, I see something with a butterfly on it. And I thought that was really cool because I just liked this sticker and I stuck it on there because I thought it was pretty. But then every single thing on this has been in like the process of coming true. And even like the silly Saturn, which I just really liked, we're going to Casey Musgraves in September, which I'm so excited about. And her like biggest song right now is talking about like Saturn return. And so I thought that was really cool because I'm like, that has to do with my vision board too. Like it's just kind of cool to me.
I think it's insane. So those of you that watch us on YouTube, how neat and organized yours is, and mine is like
No, that is weird.
so unhinged for me. Like yours would be something like mine normally would be. Like I don't know what energy I have going through me in 2024, but I am like I'm like looking at myself and things that I'm doing constantly. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like this is not I am almost 34 years old and I don't
You're
even know where
changing,
I
baby.
don't know where any of this is coming from. Like, you know, they say like things change like every 7 years, like your hair and like your taste buds and all those things. I don't know if this number I'm going into is like a seventh year thing, but like
Mm-hmm.
shit is just so different for me right now. And it's so, so weird. Like when you popped up your vision board, because I don't think I saw your final vision board.
Oh, really?
Um, when you popped yours up, I was like, what the hell? That's so neat. Like, what is going on?
I know everything's like kind of grouped into categories.
Yeah. One thing that like really stood out for me on mine is I have a lot of weird like nature looking things, but also so much tied to like travel and like the sun and the beach and like I feel like all the last like 2 months I've been saying like I need to just go live at the beach. Like everything on my board is like sunshine, waves, sunshine, waves. I have a bottle of champagne on the ocean, like flowers, bees, sunshine. Like I clearly need to figure out how to get that in my life way more
Yeah.
somehow.
I think
But
it's really good at this point to like revisit either your goals if you write them down or your vision board because then you still have time in the year to like figure out like what was I meaning when I put that on there or what do I want from this? Like I think it's really good to review these things.
yeah, I think that that's like what I was just about to say is like if you wrote down your goals or if you wrote down a vision board or whatever it is that you did, like take the time now while you're about to hit the middle of the year to like look it over. Like I have a bunch of like quotes on mine and like things that I was like, I really like this. And once we're done, I'm gonna go through and like read them all. But I feel like when I put these on there, there was a reason I put them on there. There was something that I wanted to feel when I look at them. And I feel like I need to go and like look at them more often for sure. But in the past, when we had like really diligent goal lists, I would try and review it every month. And usually I was pretty good at it. Lately, I don't have like habits like that where I'm like remembering to go do all this shit monthly. Like
Mhm.
I seriously don't know what has happened, but I've just like let all of that rigidness or strictness, I guess I would say, like go where I'm just kind of like things are flowing and it's fine and I'm not so overwhelmed with it. But these things that I did write down, and I think that's what I want to like highlight the most is like you put them on a piece of paper at the beginning of the year for a reason. Like you have this thing that your heart or your mind, your body, your soul, all of
Wanted.
those things
Hmm.
wanted. Don't just like let it go and like let time keep passing because every single year we go through the same cycles where it's like you put something down, you really wanted to accomplish it, and then like life gets in the way. Like life will always get in the way and make your days, your weeks, your months super chaotic. You get busy and you just forget about what you truly wanted. And I think it's just so important that we stop like ignoring what we want as humans and pleasing the whole entire world. Like if you wanted to do that, figure out how you can start even a tiny little step, like
Yeah.
a little thing, any little thing, even if you only do a couple times in the year, whatever it is. Like if you do even just a little bit, that's now training your body that you have the ability to do those three things that you already did. So let's do it again. Like not starting is like the biggest thing that sets people up for failure. And not looking at your vision board also sets you up for failure.
Yeah. I also I love my word of the year, intentional. It's such like a special word to me now because I feel like it has really just put into focus like everything that I'm wanting to do, I'm doing it with an intention. What is my intention to this? Like it's just really strengthened my connection with myself. And I just am really, really pleased with my word. So I've never connected with a word as much as this one before.
I think it's crazy, like when you pick a word, you never really know what meaning it's going to have. And I think that's why I really love picking a word. It took me a minute to figure out my word, and it's not like it didn't like come to me. I had already thought of the word. I just thought it was weird. And I was like, that's so stupid. Like, I want something better. And then I kept trying to find different words and I kept coming back to it. My word is embrace. And like, as I'm looking back on the whole entire year, I'm like, I really have just been like in a constant state of like, I need to embrace this, like, go with the
Mm-hmm.
flow, like, all these different things that when I picked that word, I had no idea what was about to happen. Like I had no idea how different and strange my year would look. But I
Uh-huh.
think that's what's so cool about like picking a word and like putting this stuff down is because like you can reflect back and be like, holy shit, like you really there's something somewhere that helps you connect with these things so that your future self can be like, oh, light bulb, like I am doing this, or I needed this word all this year. And so, like, cool that I like my brain somehow was like, embrace. And I don't think it's like, what's the word, happenstance? I don't think it's happenstance that like things like this happen. I think that people sometimes, like, when you're woo woo, like we are, people like to be like, oh, you see butterflies because you're thinking about butterflies. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
want to see butterflies, you want to tie it to something. And like, sure, you can think that and have your doubts, but like, there's so many signs that the universe gives
Yeah.
and that we give ourselves that like, we're so busy and our brains move so quick that you don't even realize. Like, I think it's cool to slow down and like tie it to something that
Yeah.
means something, even if it is fucking fake. I don't care. Look how
Even
much
if it's
happier I
fake,
am.
yeah, even if it's fake and it makes you feel good, who cares? Like
Yeah.
if it makes you feel good, that's great. Like I would rather feel good about seeing a butterfly that means absolutely nothing than forcing myself to like go to church every week when it didn't make me happy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I read like a thing the other day and maybe I shared it on my Instagram or I didn't, but it was like this saying that was basically, it said, every morning when you wake up, tell yourself before you like have any other thoughts, like something amazing is going to happen today. And what that does is changes the chemicals in your brain that makes you look for good things. So like the
mhm,
dumbest thing could happen. You hit all the green lights, you got a good coffee, like whatever. And it's like that taught your brain to then be like, something amazing is happening today. And it keeps that positive and like whatever energy moving forward and the momentum. And it just completely shifts your entire like life. I
mhm.
won't lie though, like bees, I don't fucking like bees. And I put a bee on my board because like bees do definitely always like come around me. And like Taylor and everyone keeps being like, it's bees are your thing, bees are your thing. I
Mhm.
don't fucking want them to be my thing. I don't enjoy them. I have learned to come at peace, like come to terms with the fact that this could be a thing. I put a bee on my board so that I can learn to embrace bees and not be like, it's not my fucking thing. Like instead of meeting it with this like annoyance, why don't I just meet it with peace and like let it be? Maybe it is my
Mhm.
sign, maybe it's not. But now I can at least meet it in a space of like, it's fine, no big deal. Like don't stress. It's could be a good sign. We can think of it that way maybe in a future place, but right now I don't have to be angry at it. And like
Yeah.
shifting that perspective alone helps my energy be completely more positive. So like those are the types of things that you can also do with just like any of these things with your vision board or your goals. Like it doesn't have to be this big thing where it's like this always happens or this is what I want. Like put things on there that you just want to change your mental state or you want to change how you feel about something. And those are simple things that like don't cost money. You don't have to
Mhm.
put in a lot of work for them. Like if you're at a point where you look at your goals board and you're like, this is literally impossible, what can you add to that that like helps shift your brain of like, what if I added a small step to, although I can't reach X, what if I added just this one little tiny thing? So when I do look at it now, I'm not looking at it as I can't accomplish this, I'm looking at it as like, oh, look at this smaller goal that I can get. Like find ways that you can shift things in your brain so that you meet things with positivity, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and put things on your board that just make you feel happy. Like I made a little Mickey Mouse head out of little rhinestones because Disney just makes me happy. And when I look at my board, I want to remember like this just simply makes me happy. I don't have a goal with it. I don't like whatever. It just makes me happy so that if I'm having a bad day, I can automatically think of that like, hey, why don't I watch a Disney movie because it makes me happy? Like it doesn't have to be all goals on there. It can just be little small things that just give you like that little glimmer of happiness in your belly.
Well, and I think that's what's so important to remember is like you set all these things up at the beginning of the year and you have all this new energy and all this excitement and all this whatever. And like then you get to a point where you're like, God, life is really fucking rough. It's only just now May, but it's like things can be really, really hard. What can I do that like helps me find motivation again, helps me find excitement again, whatever? Because again, if you don't have this check-in and you don't do something, if you need to add something to your board or just review it, like if you don't, you're gonna get to December again and be like, oh my gosh, a whole nother year went by and I
Mhm.
literally still didn't do this thing that I wanted to do. Like Taylor was saying, I have a sticker on here that says Taco Monday. Like, there's no point to that. I just love tacos. But now maybe I can see it one day when I don't have the brain space to make dinner and I can be like, Taco Monday, we're having tacos, you know? Or I
Yeah,
have one on here that says, I was told there would be wine. Like, that makes me happy because if there's wine, I will usually probably show up.
true. You have cheese on there too, because I remember
I
you
do.
sticking that and you were like, I'm just gonna put cheese because it makes me happy and I love it.
Exactly. I have cheese on here. I have a sticker that says brunch. I do think I put that brunch sticker because I do want to have more brunches in my life. I actually really love brunch.
Yeah, same.
And I don't go to brunch often enough. So if anyone wants to go get brunch, hit your girl up.
But you did just send me that reel today of all those new brunch places to try. So see, it's always on your mind on your vision board.
I know, but I need to turn things like that into action.
Yeah.
Action is important. But I
Yes.
don't know, I guess the point for the episode really comes down to we wanted to check in with you guys about where we are. I hope you realize that like yeah, it's not that easy. We don't just like act like life is super easy. Taylor's crushing hers and that's amazing. Sometimes you'll crush them and sometimes you won't, but either way, being intentional about it, like Taylor's word, like you're going to get somewhere.
Hmm.
And I think that's the important thing.
Yep. And honestly, I only think I'm crushing it because this is what works for me. I feel like I was trying so hard to make something that I just didn't fully connect with. And I didn't really know that I wasn't connecting with it until I stopped doing it. Like doing the values, setting my goals based off of my values, and doing goals monthly instead of yearly. Like all the things that I've tried, this is what has really worked for me. And this is what I'm going to continue to do. You just have to really find what your vibe is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like you're gonna have to try and fail a bunch of different things. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think also when you're starting out like your self-development or getting really strict with like rules and like your habits and your values and your boundaries and all of these things, like you almost have to do things a certain way to make sure that you do it. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
when we very first were starting things like this, we hadn't done them before. And what worked for us was like, I need to check in on this. I need to have this written. I need to like be focused on it and like all this momentum of like hyper fixation almost. But now we're at a point where it's become a like second hand almost, where it's like we're just
Mm-hmm.
living on this higher vibrational like space that we're already naturally doing those things rather than having to like go through the trenches. It's like when you very first start a workout routine. Like I know we reference everything to that, but it's so similar. Like
Yeah.
it's like when you're like, okay, you just do Monday and Tuesday, then on Wednesday you can have the day off, and then Thursday, Friday, like you have to be very rigid in getting that set up. And then it finally eventually just becomes like you're just a person that works out because you want to and you need to, like because your body like is like, hey, we do this now, why aren't you doing it? Like that's kind of what I would say is like you're gonna have to start somewhere. So start trying something. It might feel like you're forcing it, but if it's not like natural for you, force it a little bit and then start to fine tune of like, this is actually what makes more sense for me. I'm going to do it. Like, because I guarantee there's plenty of people that started with building just this chaotic board and then they did nothing with it, you know, like,
Yeah.
so start somewhere, force yourself to deal with it, and then I would just say like make sure you're checking in with yourself, and like we should probably check in with each other way more often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we used to, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, at the beginning of your self-development journey, you have to force things. It is what it is. Your body, your brain gets very used to just being lazy, and that's it. You have to force yourself. Like when I started working out, I had to force myself to work out. Okay, Taylor, we're just going to do 15 minutes. Like when I started drinking a lot of water, I had to force myself to drink water and to pee all day for my body to get used to it. Like you just have to force yourself to do these things at the beginning.
Hell yeah, I had one of those big jugs that told me by 10 a.m. I needed to drink
Yeah.
X amount of water. Now I drink a lot of water. I don't pee as much as when I get off of
Mm-mm.
my water. Like if I go a while without drinking a lot of water, then I start back over again where I'm like peeing constantly. But after like a week straight of like being back in my normal hydration station, I feel like I still like don't pee a ton.
Yeah, your body
Like
gets used to it.
I do, but it's not like when you very first start.
Yeah, your body gets used to things, your brain gets used to things, but there definitely has to be an element of making yourself do it at the first.
Yeah. Okay, now that I'm looking at my list like more thoroughly and like really thinking, I'm kind of aligned with a lot of these things and not like the way that maybe I thought when I wrote them down, but like a lot of my actions are kind of aligning.
Yeah, see?
The last thing I want to read you guys is a quote that I put on my board. And I feel like it'll be good motivation for you. The quote is, "Be mindful with the present you are creating. Does it look like the future you are hoping for?" And I feel like that's
Cute.
super important to think about. Like what I'm doing every single day, does that look like my future? Because if it doesn't, then you know, like every single day, if you keep going, doing that same thing, your future is not going to be what you wanted it to be.
I love that. Love
So yeah,
that. Well,
that's pretty
guys,
much
share
all I
with
have.
us where you're at with your goals, please. I would love to hear about it. Um, okay, we definitely have been asking for a friend. Sorry, I was trying to find it. Where did it go? Did you have
I
anything
don't
else you
know.
wanted to say about the topic?
No, the only thing I want to tell people watching us on YouTube is as you've been watching, you've progressively seen my teeth go more and more red from my red wine. So you're welcome.
Okay, hashtag asking for a friend. Do you ever want to have a dick for a day? Like, what's it like having that flop around in your pants?
100% yes. I want that for a day.
I do too. Tony and I have had very deep conversations about this because I have literally asked him, I need to know what this is like to just have this like flopping around in your pants all day. And then he's like, well, I need to know what it's like having like a hole in your pants all day. Like
You
it would
don't
just
notice
be
it.
yeah, and that's what he said about the dicks. Like he's like, it's just kind of there. Like some days you can feel it more than others, but for the most part, like it's just there. And I think that that is insane.
Okay, here's what I would say. I really would like to know what this is like. I think about it all the time. Like the amount of times that this crosses my brain of just like, what does that feel like having that in your
Yeah.
pants? Like, I don't know. I want to understand. I guess unless you're like really packing, it probably is pretty simple for you to not notice it every day because like they kind like when they're not doing their thing, you know, like they're kind of just like they're just
Okay,
there.
but
You know
think
what I
of
mean?
like gym shorts. Like that would be, I mean, maybe it would feel like boobs. Like when you're walking and if your bra isn't super tight and like your boobs kind of bounce, maybe that's what it feels like in like gym shorts.
Well, I mean, I feel like they usually have like underwear on, so I think that it kind of keeps it contained. But what I really wonder about is like the people that are like really fucking hung and it like goes down their leg.
Yeah.
Like, cause it like literally rests on their thigh.
Oh,
And it
I
makes me
wonder,
disgusted.
like in high school, and who knows if they were like just fucking around, but like people would all the time be like, oh, I just sat on my balls. Like, what do you mean you just sat on your balls? Like, what? I don't get it.
I mean, honestly, I could see that. It's just such a weird concept to me that there's like a lump. It would be literally like having a boob down there. and like
Yeah.
sitting on the wrong like area and it hitting like your nip area where you're like, ow, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but I'm just so curious what it would be like all day long. Like, I think it probably is irritating. I think it gets sweatier than the cooch.
for sure.
And I don't know. I just want to know for a day. And I really wonder if other women think this because I think this all the time. And I ask random questions about it all the time where like I'll just be like, does this ever happen?
Yeah. I would love to know what it feels like to pee with a penis and to
Same.
have sex with a penis. Like, I feel
Ooh,
like
I
it
don't
would
want
be
that.
so different, but to have something shooting out of you, like, that would be weird. That would be weird.
I would really like to try the peeing thing. I probably would want to try and jack off too. I'd want to know what that was like. But I don't think I want to have like actual S. Like maybe it's
Huh.
because it would be like with a woman and I'm very far from a lesbian vibe. Like the thought of that makes me want to throw up.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That
Ugh.
part is true. But like, I don't know, it would be so weird to know what that's like. It really would.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. Like on the Jumanji movie where that girl turns into Jack Black.
Uh-huh.
I when that happened, I was like, this is my literal dream. Like for a day to just be like, holy shit. Like it would be so fun.
I'm the hot chick. You think you're so cool because
Yes.
you can pee with your penis.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I love that movie so much. Yeah, I
Hash
definitely want a dick for a day.
I was just gonna say hashtag asking for a friend. Yes, I do.
Okay, well, let us know if you guys would also like to have a dick. Men, let us know if you'd like to have a vagina. The like 5 men that listen to us, D Patton, if you're a man, let us know what you would like to do. We're curious.
I think here's the inside scoop again, guys. I think D Patton is probably a girl. That's my assumption. I think it's a girl, and I think it's somebody with a lot of hate in their heart, and they literally are talking out of their ass because they clearly don't know us.
Yeah, haterade.
Haters
Haterade.
gonna hate.
Okay, thank you guys so much for listening to us. Please make sure to like, rate, write a written review if it calls to you. Share us with a friend, follow us on Instagram, all of those good things. And we will talk to you next week. Almost our break.
Bye.
Bye.